Hey guys, welcome back for another video. We got a fun one prepared today. This is it. The NFL playoffs are here for the 24-25 season. We have the wild card games coming up this weekend on Saturday and on Sunday, January 11th through 12th. The first round of the playoffs, we have the two number one seeds, Lions, Chiefs. They'll be sitting this one out, but the rest of the teams, 6 games total, 12 teams duking it out, trying to make it to the next round. What we're going to do is we're going to completely break down these games, try to predict the outcome, who's going to win, who's going to lose, and what the final score will be. And we'll also touch on the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to drop a comment. Do you agree? Disagree? What's your breakdown? What's your opinion on these games? Every week we're going over every single NFL game, all the way through the Super Bowl. Then we have the offseason, and we also go over every college football game as well, the bowl games and the college football playoffs going on right now. A lot going on in the world of football this week. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So let's go ahead and get things started looking at these games. We have our AFC wildcard matchup, CBS. This is going to be Saturday, January 11th at 4:30 p.m. We have the 11-6 LA Chargers. Props to Harbaugh. Harbaugh is back in the playoffs right now. He has Herbert, J.K. Dobbins. They have the number one overall defense. They'll be playing the 10-7 Houston Texans. Houston's kind of limping into the playoffs right now. They don't have the offense they had last season. A lot of injuries. Dell, Diggs. They need to get the offense right. They won their last game, but they need some type of momentum right now. It's going to be hard to do that versus this Chargers defense. Right now, the Chargers, 52.8% chance to win this game. They are 3-point favorites. The over and here is 42.5. This is a Harbaugh team for the Chargers. They run the ball. They play elite Super Bowl caliber defense. They're going to be led by Justin Herbert. Had a great season this year. 3,900 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 3 picks. Very efficient passing season. Really came off the second half, basically. Started out the first half kind of slow. They own the second half, especially pushing the ball vertically down the field. They were averaging 23.6 points a game, throwing for 213.5, running for 110.7, but it's that number one defense giving up 17.7 points per game. Harbaugh has one goal in mind: get a lot of consistent pressure on Stroud, force some errant throws, potentially get some turnovers, force him to go 3 and out. When you have a defense that can travel like this, you can control time of possession. Chargers have that type of defense. Looking at Stroud right now, he's closing in on 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks. Not the season he had last year. They're average 21.9. They throw for 207.4, and they run for 112.3, and their defense is giving up 21.9 points a game. And looking at the playmakers for the Chargers, we know they want to establish the run game. J.K. Dobbins has been banged up the entire season. We're going to have a healthy J.K. Dobbins here. They have to dominate on the line of scrimmage here. They want to be the more physical team. They want to wear you out over 4 quarters. When you get the run game going, that is then going to help the play action game. That's when Justin Herbert hits Ladd McConkey deep down the field. 1,200 yards this season. He owned the second half this year. And looking at Houston, they have Mixon over 1,000 yards. They have Nico Collins. He missed like 3 or 4 games this season, still had over 1,000 yards. When he plays, he's a top 3, top 5 wide receiver easy. So what's going to be the outcome to this game? This game could potentially be close, but the Chargers defense should make the difference. We have the Chargers winning this one 24-17. And then our next matchup also on Saturday the 11th at 8 p.m. on Amazon. Our next wildcard matchup, the 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers, a Mike Tomlin team just like Harbaugh. They want to run the ball. They want their defense to control the pace and dictate the pace of this game. They'll be playing the 12-5 Baltimore Ravens. Not necessarily the team you want to be playing right now. They're dominating on both sides of the ball, especially on the ground. They finished the regular season with the number one rushing offense. When you run the ball, you control time of possession. You keep the turnovers down. They are running the ball better than anyone, and they have the potential 3-time MVP showing up here for this game. Right now, the Ravens, massive favorites. But don't forget, this is round 3 this season. Steelers won round 1. Baltimore won round 2. This is going to be the difference maker here, and Baltimore is hot right now. Right now, they have a 72.7% chance to win this game, 10-point favorites. That is a massive spread for an NFL game, for an NFL playoff game. The over in here is 43.5. Vegas basically has Baltimore completely dominating this game on both sides of the ball. When you look at the Steelers, Russell Wilson leaves a lot to be desired. Very conservative guy at the quarterback position. Doesn't take too many risks. Doesn't really light things up with his playmaking ability at this point of his career. I've been saying since the season started, I thought Justin Fields gave you the better attachments on offense, basically, because he was more unpredictable because he had his legs. He was able to multiply the weapons, multiply the options of what you could potentially do on offense. Right now, Russell Wilson, 2,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks. They're averaging 22.4, throwing for 192, running for 127.4, giving up 20.4 points a game. Very good rush defense, only allowing 98.7 on the ground. That's what they're going to try to use here. Shut down Baltimore on the ground. Much easier said than done. This is strength on strength, one of the better rush defenses versus the best, the number one rushing attack in the NFL. Lamar Jackson putting up video game numbers the entire season since game one. 4,200 passing yards, 41 passing touchdowns, only 4 picks. He also has 4 rushing touchdowns to that. 45 overall touchdowns. They have a top 3 offense. They average 30.5 points a game. They throw for 237.4. They run for 187.6, which is number 1. Their defense giving up 21.2 points a game. About 6 games ago, they were giving up 25 to 26 points a game. Their defense has really come on hot the last 6 to 7 games. They had a pretty bad secondary, pretty questionable throughout the season. Their secondary playing a lot better right now. And they have the number 1 rush defense in the NFL, only giving up 80.1 points a game. They're going to get a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson will have to play with his hair on fire, have the game of the year for him in order for them to beat Baltimore. A lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson. He deserves the MVP. A lot of people saying he can't win in the playoffs. That's an overstatement. There's no reason for people to say that. This guy's still young. He has a long road going forward. Looking at the playmakers for the Steelers, Najee Harris, Pickens, you got to play smarter. You have to make plays when the ball comes to you. And for Baltimore, they are loaded. One of the best offensive rosters in the NFL. Derrick Henry just 79 yards shy of 2,000 for the regular season. They have Flowers. Flowers a little banged up last week. He's supposed to be playing as of right now. They have Andrews. They have Likely. We have the Ravens controlling this game through the air and on the ground. Dominating win for them. Playoff win for Lamar Jackson. They win it 28-14. That will conclude the Saturday games. Now we'll be moving on to our Sunday, January 12th games at 1 p.m. The AFC Wildcard game. On CBS, we have the 10-7 Denver Broncos. Welcome back to the playoffs, Sean Payton. Sean Payton did amazing things with this team. Shows his coaching prowess. Took Bo Nix after those first 2 games, looking bad, completely revamped his team, coached to Bo Nix's strength. Short, dink and dunk, accurate passing ability, roll that pocket, keep him mobile, always give him the option to scramble, but still keeping his eyes down the field. They played to his strengths. It showed down the stretch. They'll be playing the 13-4 Buffalo Bills. Nobody wants to play the Bills right now. Josh Allen potentially could have won the MVP potentially, but he only played 1 snap this past weekend. To me, it's probably going to cost him the MVP right here, but as long as they win the Super Bowl, they don't really care. Right now, the Bills, 68.1% chance to win this game. Do not sleep on Denver. Denver has a very solid offense. They have an elite defense. As long as you have an elite defense, you can win any game because the defense will at least keep the game close for the majority of the game. So that'll keep you in striking distance. Bills 8.5-point favorites. Over here is 46.5. Bo Nix on the season, 3,800 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 picks. They're averaging 25 points a game. That's very solid on the offensive side, throwing for 212.4, running for 112.2. But it's that defense giving up 18.3 points a game. A better rush defense in the NFL giving up 96.4 on the ground. Will they be able to control the Bills' ground game? Will they be able to control Josh Allen on the ground scrambling, ground pounding, 4 quarters, him being mobile, him pushing the ball down the field? Right now, the Bills, Josh Allen, MVP caliber numbers throughout the year, 3,800 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 picks. He also has 13 rushing touchdowns out of that, 41 overall touchdowns. They have a top 3 offense, averaging 30.9 points a game, just behind the Lions, throwing for 227.9, running for 131.2, giving up 21.6 points a game. Looking at the playmakers for Denver, a lot of this game is going to be on Bo Nix. Sean Payton knows how to coach. He's not going to do anything that Bo Nix is not capable of doing. Coach to his skill set. Take a lot of pressure off of him. They have Williams. They have Sutton closing in on 1,100 yards. And on the other side, they don't have as many playmakers as the Ravens, but they have just enough to win this game, and they have the defense to back it up. They have Cook, Shakir, Coleman, Cooper. When it comes to the outcome of this game, I think Josh Allen is way too much. If there was a year for the Bills to finally get that Super Bowl win, this is it. This team is loaded. Josh Allen's most efficient season. He's keeping the turnovers down, taking what the defense gives him, and then just taking a little bit more. We have the Bills winning this one 30-21. It's close first half, but the Bills own the second half. This next game is actually a pretty tough one to call because we don't have the full injury statuses for who's going to be playing the quarterbacks for this next round. NFC game. This game is going to be on Fox at 4:30 p.m. The 11-6 Green Bay Packers. They have the offense, they have the defense to complete for a potential Super Bowl berth. But the big question here, what's the status of Jordan Love? As of right now, we're not really getting much news out of them whatsoever. He did get hurt. He hurt his elbow this past Sunday, had to miss the end of that game. Will he be able to play this game? If it's not him, they have enough to score here, but the Eagles defense is going to make it really difficult for them. They're playing the 14-3 Philadelphia Eagles, one of the best teams in the NFL this season. But we have the same question for them. What's the health status of Jalen Hurts? We haven't seen Hurts in weeks. He had that concussion. Will he play this game? If he plays this game, will he be 100%, or will be getting a limited version of Hurts? That could greatly affect the Eagles' ground game and their offense as a whole. Right now, the Eagles 51.2% chance to win this game, 4.5-point favorites. The over here is 44.5. When Jordan Love has played, he has been able to carry this team, but he does have some turnover tendencies. When he plays a clean game, they can let it up. They have a top 8 offense, but if he has some turnovers, if he gets pressured, the Eagles defense could potentially force him into some costly mistakes. Right now, he's closing in on 3,400 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks. He's also a mobile quarterback. They're averaging 27.1 points a game. That is a top 8 overall offense, throwing for 223.9. Running for 146.8, giving up 19.9 points a game. That is a top 7 defense overall. And for the Eagles, are we going to see Hurts? This is their chance to potentially get back to the Super Bowl this season. Win another Super Bowl. He has 2,900 yards, 18 passing touchdowns, 5 picks. He also has 14 rushing touchdowns to add to that. And he's also missed a couple games this season. Completely dominating games on the ground. When you can run the ball, you play time of possession, you keep the turnovers down. What plagued the Eagles last season was they had a lot of turnovers second half. They've completely cut that out this year because they added Saquon Barkley. Running the ground keeps you from having to throw the ball 35 times a game. That's going to keep those turnovers down. You're going to control the clock. You're going to ground the pound. You're going to wear teams down over 4 quarters. They're averaging 27.2 points a game, top 8 offense, throwing for 187.9, running for 179.3, just behind the Baltimore Ravens. But they also have a top 2 defense in the NFL, giving up 17.8 points a game, which is just 0.1 behind the LA Chargers for first place. That's how good the Eagles defense is. We praise the offense. We praise Saquon Barkley, but the defense doesn't get enough credit. That defense can carry this team. You just need Hurts basically to just be serviceable if he plays this game. Looking at the playmakers here, you have Josh Jacobs. They are going to ride Josh Jacobs for the Packers, one of the more underappreciated running backs in the NFL. Just shy of 1,400 yards. This guy's to get more praise. He's going to get a lot of carries this game. Probably 20 to 25 carries. They want to put the game on his shoulders, ride the running game to victory. That's easier said than done versus the Eagles defense, and they also have Reed. They probably need a true number 1 wide receiver, someone that they can rely on to get 12 to 1,300 yards per season. For the Eagles, loaded with playmakers, they just have to be healthy. Hurts, Barkley over 2,000 yards, decided not to make a run at the rushing record. He kept his legs fresh solely for the playoffs and for the Super Bowl run. They have A.J. Brown. They have Smith. So the outcome to this game, there's a lot of unknowns we will know later this week in the video that comes out right before the game. But as of right now, we are going to bank on these 2 quarterbacks playing just because we don't know nothing. We have the Eagles winning this one 27-21. It's their ground game that's going to make the difference here. This next one is probably the toughest game to call this weekend because you have 2 really good young quarterbacks. You have 2 offenses that can score some points. The game's going to be a shootout. Probably going to come down to the 4th quarter. Could come down to the final possession. A costly turnover at the end could be what decides this game. This is going to be at 8 p.m. on NBC, our NFC Wildcard game on Sunday. The last Sunday night game right before the Monday night game. We have The Washington Commanders, 12-5. They had a great final month of the season. Jaden Daniels lit things up through the air, lit things up on the ground. Can he carry that success into the playoffs here versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who come in here 10-7? Right now, it's the Bucs. 3-point favorites. The over here is 50.5. There's going to be some points here. This game's going to come down to a turnover. It's going to be lots of touchdowns. Both quarterbacks have to be prepared to get in a blow-for-blow shootout. You have to match one another, score for score. Jaden Daniels, 3,600 passing yards, 25 passing touchdowns, 9 picks. He had 9 yards shy of 900 yards on the ground, 31 total touchdowns. This guy's just a rookie, but he showed he can put this team on his back. The big question is, will the defense be able to get enough stops? Because Tampa Bay can definitely score. Right now for Washington, they have a top 8 offense. They're averaging 28.5 points a game. One of the best offenses in the NFL. One of the more balanced offenses in the NFL. Throwing for 215.6, running for 154.1. They're giving up 23 points a game. Not a bad secondary. Only giving up 189 passing yards. Where they give up a lot of yardage is on the ground. 137.5 yards given up rushing. The Bucs, they have a great passing offense, one of the best passing offenses in the NFL. But where you're going to win this game is focusing on the Commanders' weakness. That's the rush defense. Ground and pound with Irving nonstop. Let him open up that play action. And of course, you got Mike Evans there. He can make the catches when you need it. Baker Mayfield, one of the best passers in the NFL this season. 4,500 yards exactly on the dot. 41 passing touchdowns, 16 picks. He's been known to some turnovers here, but when they need a score, he's pompous. He steps up. He makes the plays. They don't have Chris Godwin. That was a massive loss, leading the NFL in receptions when he went down. But then right then they got Mike Evans back, and the wide receiver core as a whole stepped up, made up the difference. They have a top 5 offense. They average 29.5 points a game. They throw for 250.4. They run for 149.2. Also a very balanced offense, and they're giving up 22.5 points a game. Both defenses have a weakness. The weakness for the Bucs is their secondary. They give up just under 244 passing yards per game, but they do have a pretty decent defensive line. They only give up 97.8 on the ground. This is going to be strength on strength. Which offense is going to win the game here? Which defense is going to get just enough stops to hold the opposing offense at bay? Looking at the playmakers for Washington, Jaden Daniels, the leading passer, the leading rusher. They need the rest of that running back room to step up to help him out. And they have Scary Terry there, just shy of 1,100 yards. For Tampa Bay, you got Baker Mayfield. He can scramble when he's forced to scramble, but he's obviously not the runner that Jaden Daniels is. You have Irving, 1,122 yards, and you have Mike Evans. There's 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Mike Evans getting 1,000 yards again for the 11th straight season, tying Jerry Rice for 11 straight seasons. That's the record. This guy's the go-to guy. Third downs, you know it's going to Mike Evans. Good luck trying to stop them. I've kind of flip-flopped on this game, gone back and forth. To me, it's a 50-50 pick 'em. I could see it going either way. I don't want to go anywhere near this game. I originally had Washington getting the win, thinking they'd squeak it out. Rookie quarterback, can he beat Baker Mayfield here in the playoff game? Definitely. Would not surprise me at all. But I think the Buccaneers' second half passing attack is what's going to make the difference second half. They win this one 31-27. It's going to be very close. It's anyone's game. And guys, this next game, it also scares the crap out of me. Let's just call it what it is. Monday, January 13th, our final wildcard matchup. We have the 14-3 Minnesota Vikings, 8:15 p.m. on ABC, playing the 10-7 LA Rams. The Rams started out the season really bad. I said, don't judge them by their record. They don't have all their offensive playmakers back. Once they got all their playmakers back, Nakua, Cooper Kupp, Atwell, Williams, this offense has been rolling. They have the veteran Stafford slinging the ball up and down the field. Right now, Minnesota, 53.9% chance to win this game. They are 1.5-point favorites. Over here is 47.5. This game scares the crap out of me because I can see the upset happening. It is written on the wall, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But it's definitely there. It can potentially happen. Right now for Minnesota, they are coming off of that beatdown at the hands of the Lions. How do they respond? How does Sam Darnold and company respond to that? Can they get the offense back on track? Can they get that momentum going? They've had a lot of close one-possession wins here, playing very close, but overall, great season. They have a good offense. They have a good defense. They're very balanced. Sam Darnold, 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 picks. They average 25.4. They throw for 237.8. They run for 109.1. They have a top 10 defense, giving up 19.5 points a game. They only give up 93.4 on the ground. but can they slow down the Rams offense? The Rams rested all of their starters on offense this past week. They are fully rested right now. No one's injured. They always have injury problems. They don't have any right now. Everybody should be on the field. Stafford, 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's a veteran. He's been here before, knows how to win the big game, knows how to win a shootout. This game could easily turn into a shootout. Right now, the Rams, they average 21.6. They throw for 227.5. They're running for 103.8. Their defense is giving up 22.7. They have holes on defense. There's no doubt about that. They give up 223 passing, 130 rushing. The Vikings will be able to move the ball, but how much will the Rams be able to make up for their deficiencies on defense? Buy their defense some breathing time by getting first downs and scoring on the Vikings. Looking at the playmakers here for Minnesota, they have Aaron Jones Sr., just shy of 1,200 yards. Justin Jefferson, probably the number one wide receiver in the NFL, 1,533 yards. He doesn't make third and long catches. He makes massive catches. If it's 3rd and 10, he's getting you 35 yards. He doesn't just get you the first down. He makes massive yardage picks up through the air. And when you look at the Rams, they have Williams, 1,299 rushing yards. Missed a lot of time, too. And they have Nakua, Cooper Kupp, Atwell, so many weapons for Stafford to spread the ball out to. I've gone back and forth with this game. As I've already said, this game scares the hell out of me. I'm just going to have fun watching it because I could see this game as a 50-50 pick'em. It has upset alert written all over it. But I have the Vikings pulling off a close one. Minnesota always has a great season. Blow it in the playoffs. That's why a lot of people are potentially expecting them to lose this game. But I have Minnesota just holding on, winning 27-24. So that's our breakdown. That's our picks for all of our wild card games we have coming up this Saturday, this Sunday, this Monday. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Please drop a comment below. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know, and I will respond. Thank you.